Welcome to a presentation on the revised Commissioner's Regulation Part 100.2J, Comprehensive School Counseling Guidance Programs. Amendments to this regulation were adopted by the New York State Education Department Board of Regents at their May 9, 2017 meeting, effective July 1, 2017. This revision reflects a long-awaited update to the requirements for school districts on their Comprehensive School Counseling Program, sometimes referred to as the District Guidance Plan. It was developed by the State Education Department over several years with the assistance of the School Counseling Advisory Council, a team of practicing school counselors, directors, and counselor educators. Representatives from the New York State School Social Work Association and the New York Association of School Psychologists also reviewed the regulation draft before it was adopted. NYSED and school leaders also provided feedback and helped inform the final version. Regulations for the higher ed programs that prepare school counselors, as well as school counselor certification requirements, were also revised and adopted in May 2017. However, we will not be addressing those regulation revisions in this presentation. The revision incorporates most of the components of the national model by the American School Counselor Association, first published in 2003 and revised in 2013. Research on the effectiveness of using the systematic, standards-based, and data-informed approach repeatedly demonstrate the ability of comprehensive school counseling programs to impact graduation rates, behavior, social-emotional learning and development, college and career outcomes, attendance, and academic success. It helps focus programs on our students' needs, especially recognizing unmet need and revising the program to address them. Overall, it helps us reach more students and be more effective in the program activities we provide. It asks the driving question, how are students different because of what we do? This graphic was developed to illustrate both the previous components of Part 100.2J in blue and new additions in green. If you would like to access the memo from the State Education Department describing the revision, visit this link. School districts are expected to implement the new requirements by September 2019. They fall into two categories: program development related, which are on the bottom half of this graphic, and student services related, which are on the upper half. We will take a closer look at both. Please note the team symbol that appears on several lines. The intent of the regulation is to promote not only a strong school counselor-driven program, but to include other service providers and educators to reflect a whole school, whole student approach. A team approach is a more effective method of providing services for students. So let's start by looking at what remains in this regulation from the previous version, adopted in the mid-1970s. First, the program needs to provide support to all students K-12 for academic, behavior, and attendance needs by helping to remove barriers to learning. The services your students need can be delivered by anyone appropriately trained to provide them. Please note that a K-6 guidance program has long been a program requirement, although not a certified school counselor to provide the services. In grades 7 through 12, an annual progress review remains a program requirement. How this is carried out was not specified in the old regulation, except that it be provided by a certified school counselor. Also in grades 7 through 12, annual instruction in careers is a previous requirement, delivered by school counselors and other educators able to provide such instruction, such as teachers. Direct and indirect services like individual or group counseling, advising, consulting, and referral are a required component of the program, but could be and still can be delivered by any staff appropriately trained to provide them. Finally, the program needed to be reviewed and updated annually and made available in the district offices, which remain requirements. So let's look at what the revised regulation adds to these carryovers, starting with changes in how programs are developed and managed, starting from the bottom up. The program still needs to be updated annually, but the development and update must include school counselors. It needs to include any other educators and service providers relevant to the program. Each district decides who those team members are. A new requirement refers to program data shared as a report to your Board of Education. The ASCA National Model Implementation Guide has suggestions. Basically, this is an accountability measure. Outcomes refers to data measuring achievement, attendance, and behavior, and relate to how the program is supporting district goals and any additional program goals addressing your student needs. The plan will now need to be posted on the district website as another accountability measure, which also provides a communication tool to reach parents, students, and the community on what services your program provides. Districts also need to establish an advisory council that meets at least twice a year with a report to your Board of Education. There are specific guidelines in the ASCA National Model Implementation Guide. Each district determines who sits on this council and what the agendas and board reports include. The purpose is to provide feedback on your program components and data. The next one is a key to this revision. All students K-12 shall have access to a certified school counselor and the school counseling program. This requirement is just short of requiring a certified school counselor at every level in every school. Districts will need to determine how they will make a certified school counselor available to all students and how all students will have access to the comprehensive program. The requirement acknowledges that students benefit from the services of a certified school counselor and the program. It will no doubt play out in different ways in different districts, because student needs are different from school to school. Data gathered on unmet student need will be key. Finally, school social work and school psychologist associations felt it was important the regulation includes specific language on referral, which provides an opportunity for your district to look more closely at how referrals are made to ensure they are being done when needed and to appropriately licensed or certified service providers. So these are the new program development requirements. There is specific guidance in the ASCA National Model and Implementation Guide and also webinars on the ASCA website. We also expect additional information and possibly some templates will be included in the forthcoming state education guidance document. Now let's look at what's new in required services for students. First, notice 6th grade is now included in the requirements for your 7th through 12 program. This primarily impacts the annual review requirement. It was changed to align with the most prevalent middle school grade structure. Second, notice the green word individual inserted in annual individual progress review. The annual review must be done by a certified school counselor, which is not new, but the addition of individual clarifies that at least once each year, students need an individual meeting with a counselor to review their progress. This does not mean that all activities that contribute to the annual review need to be individual, such as course planning, which is often done in groups. Next, notice the 6 through 12 requirement for annual instruction in careers now applies also to K through 5, with college specifically included. This instruction can be provided by other than a certified school counselor. This reflects research showing the positive impact of exposure as early as kindergarten to college and career information. Teachers and other qualified staff can assist with this requirement, but as a requirement of the school counseling program, it is implied that school counselors will be involved as a consultant to teachers on materials and resources, or perhaps as a speaker in their class. Finally, there is a new requirement for core curriculum instruction provided to all students in grades K through 12 by certified school counselors, and addressing all three domains: college and career, social emotional, and academic skills. This requirement connects instruction to student standards, providing a focus for our curriculum lessons, helping us address the knowledge, attitudes, and skills students need to be successful. In New York State, we have several relevant standards to utilize, primarily the New York State CDAS standards and the ASCA student mindsets and behaviors. Other standards crosswalk with school counseling program student standards, such as Common Core and the newer Generation Next, as well as department-specific, for example, English Language Arts, Math, Career and Technical Education, and Health. So these are the changes in services to students described in the revised regulation. Additional information on student standards is available on the State Ed CDAS webpage and on the ASCA Mindsets and Behaviors webpage. The ASCA Mindsets and Behaviors webpage also includes a planning template and webinar that can help you learn how to use these student standards in your program. The New York State Education Department's CDAS webpage has relevant activities for K through 12 to assist with developing your core curriculum instruction activities. There are many articles on the ASCA website showing ways to integrate our learning objectives within our colleagues' lessons, which can prove to be a critical way to achieve this requirement. So, how are districts expected to implement these new requirements? Looking to the ASCA National Model for help, the following steps have been used throughout the nation to update comprehensive school counseling programs. First, pull a team together. Include whomever is relevant to the program, especially the administrator with oversight of the department. The purpose of the team is to systematically review the program and compile relevant information such as program objectives, evaluation methods, and resources necessary for the activity. This systematic review process includes a review of district data and any available program data, which should bring to light program gaps, unmet student need, and activities that need updating. It all comes down to the impact of the program on students, determining if and how they are benefiting from the activities and services. Do you have evaluation methods for all your activities, or do you need additional methods? Does student need show new activities are needed? Are there professional development needs? This process is best not hurried. Consider if it can be done during the summer when counselors aren't pulled from time that should be spent with students. The key is doing the review systematically, one domain or district goal topic at a time. Once you've developed a comprehensive list of activities and some analysis of how well the program is addressing student need and district goals, additional feedback from an advisory council will be useful. There is advice on how to set up your advisory on ASCA's website and in their National Model reference books. Some districts look for feedback from their advisory council while they are still reviewing their program activities. Others prefer to do the review internally and then seek feedback. It's up to the district to set up their advisory council in a way most helpful to the district. Once the comprehensive program is compiled in a written format, the district can publish it on their website. Again, the format of this posting is not spelled out in the regulation, and we anticipate the State Ed guidance document to provide more information. As a communication tool, districts need to think about what format will best communicate the importance and relevance of the program to parents, students, and community members. The program goals will help form the annual program outcomes report that needs to be provided to the school board. Likewise, the program review process will help determine if all students have access to the program and a certified school counselor. This regulation reflects significant changes from how guidance programs used to be developed and revised. What needs to be implemented by September 2019 is the process. Some districts have a fairly up-to-date list of activities, and some have lost track of their previous written plan. Some districts have a well-established elementary program with a certified school counselor to deliver it. Others have neither. What all districts need to do is set up the process by which you will review the program, collect and use data to measure impact, and ensure all students have access. From there, it becomes an annual process of review and revise, an annual opportunity to build a more effective program and help reach district and program goals. It is a process. Typically, districts take 2 to 3 years to systematically review their program activities, goals, and outcomes, and update the program to address unmet student need based on data. The revised regulation includes most of the components of the ASCA national model, so the guidelines provided by ASCA publications are relevant and helpful. The ASCA website is full of additional resources that can help with specific questions that may arise. There is no shortcut. This process takes time. 2 New York State schools who have earned RAMP distinction can also be helpful resources. RAMP stands for Recognized ASCA Model Program, acknowledging they have fully implemented their program to ASCA standards, which exceed New York State Education Department requirements. The American School Counselor Association is a key resource for developing your process. There are decades of research and resources that can help: webinars, books, research articles, conferences, and more on their website. Likewise, NYSSCA, as a chartered state chapter of ASCA, lists some of these ASCA resources on their website. They also have conferences, workshops, publications, and other professional development opportunities on the ASCA national model with a New York State point of view. NYSSCA provided turnkey training to BOCES through their Staff and Curriculum Development Network to provide local support in all regions of the state, so you may want to check with your BOCES on what supports they can provide. The New York State Education Department has a website rich with many relevant resources: attendance and absenteeism interventions, graduation rates and diploma requirements, school climate and safety resources, Part 100 and Part 200 regulations, and your district's data through the school report card. Thank you for your attention. We recognize there is a lot to take in and that there are likely many questions you still have. We will answer what we can and look to find an answer on those questions we are not able to answer. If you would like to contact us directly, here is our contact information. Please keep in touch and let us know how we can support you through your process of updating your comprehensive school counseling guidance program. Thank you.